I'm Nisayah. I'd like to welcome you to our show. This is our new show called Nisayah. And oh my goodness, I have my favorite comedian on the show today, Mr. Paul Mooney. I admire him so much. He is just too much, I'm telling you. I just left out of his show here at the Black Repertory Theater, and I have not laughed this much in a whole year. I mean, he is phenomenal. He's an icon. He is the world's greatest. How are you, Paul?
Hey, how are you? I haven't seen you in 12
I
years.
know. I can't say enough about you. You know, you were so funny tonight. The show was just
Oh, thank
marvelous.
you.
I really
I
enjoyed it.
appreciate it.
Oh, I mean, you are really, really crazy, Paul. You
Well,
really are.
I've worked, since 12 years. I mean, I've been just working at my career, working very hard. I mean, I've been funny for a long time. I'm not stupid, you know that, even 12 years ago. And people are saying to me how funny I am. I said, well, you're just catching up. I've been funny. But I've been working very hard at it, and we're doing this for the kids, and it's a benefit, and I'm enjoying it. And I do this maybe twice a year, and I do it during Christmas too, and sometimes maybe three times. But we have to help each other. See, we were blessed. We had a mother, an aunt, and grandfather. See, these grandmothers are younger than their mothers. They're sharing mini skirts. That's the problem. And if you don't raise your kids, someone else will.
Going back a little bit, I know you did a lot of writing for Richard Pryor. You've written for a lot of
Yeah,
great
Richard
comedians
Pryor.
over the years.
Yeah, my best friend. The world has lost a genius. I mean, the white folks say that Mark Twain is the great American storyteller, the white storyteller. If that's true, then Richard Pryor is Dark Twain.
Well, you're
And,
such a great writer, Paul. You're just so great. I mean, you are phenomenal.
but
And
I've
I
been
don't know if
around.
you get all your credit.
Oh, I get it. I mean, I've been around a long time, and sometimes black people get a little carried away. Oh, he wrote for Amos and Andy, the television, not the television show, the radio show. That's what they say. I'm not gonna go back that far, because that's what no, because that's what Amos and Andy, was white. You remember that on the radio, but when they went to TV, they became black. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, that's very
And
interesting.
and it was beyond racism. They were white because those white men didn't want uh, anybody to work with white folks.
Oh, that's really amazing.
So they pretended they were black, like they do now in rap.
What I like about you, Paul, is you're so honest and you tell everything just the way it is. I mean, you don't hold back anything. And I think that's so wonderful to hear a black man tell the truth and mean it and will stand by his word and not afraid to tell the truth. I mean, I really admire that about you. You know?
Well, thank you. I mean, I try. Look, the truth defends itself. I really don't have to defend it.
You don't.
I mean, I have a gift, and I understand the writing and the making the jokes. I make a light of it, but it's also serious too. But it has a double edge, and I enjoy it because my people really like me, and they listen, and they dote on it, and they entertain. It's fun, and I talk about subjects that we should talk about with each other, and that we should be open and we should discuss these things.
When did you find out that you were really funny?
Oh, I know I was funny since
All your
I
life.
was no, since I was about 7 or 8, and I've always been able to write since I was that young too. But I knew the power of timing and of humor, so it was easy for me to adjust to it. And the best ones are innate. It comes from God, because some people can learn to pretend they're a comic. They can learn to give you the facade of being funny. It's like a stripper and the topless dancer. The topless dancer just takes their top off. The stripper has an act.
So, in being a writer, have you ever wanted to write movies and just,
I've written
you know?
movies.
Oh, you have.
I've written movies, and for television. I've done both, and I've worn several hats. I mean, I've acted in films too. But I'm at my
Yeah, I've
most.
seen you in some things.
Yeah, I'm at my most happiness when I'm on that stage.
I can tell.
My live performance. The audience can feel it.
Yeah, I can feel it. I mean, tonight, they were trying to get you to come off the stage and you weren't ready to leave. And I thought that was so beautiful. I said, he want to give all he can give to the audience. And I thought that was really
Well, that's because
great,
they were so
you know.
loving and caring. And an audience really is like a pack of wolves. They know when you're funny, and they know when you're not funny, and they know when you're sincere, and they know when you're faking it. They know the difference.
Yeah, well, you don't fake it, that's for sure. What do you think about?
I am sincere when it comes to us.
Oh yeah, I know. Well,
And
I
you
can
notice,
tell.
and I talk about everybody. I talk about black, I talk about white, I talk about everybody. I talk about
Talk
Mexicans.
about everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, we all have every nationality in our family, and it's so interesting that you brought that out tonight. I thought that was just too much. I mean, your show tonight was just awesome. I could watch you every night. It's
12
just so
years
beautiful.
later.
Yeah, it's still beautiful, and you look just as young as you did when I saw you when I
Oh,
first saw you.
look
You
good,
know.
too. Well, how nice.
So, what are your future plans? I know you've been traveling all over the world.
Well,
and doing so much.
I had moved back to New York. I'm in New York.
Yeah, I heard you in Harlem.
Yeah, I live in Harlem with the white folks. You know, like you'd say, I live in West Oakland with the white folks. And you remember West Oakland, remember? How it used to be? Black. Don't you remember? I went down there. I told you my grandmother lived on 18th Street. All I found was white folks walking their dogs.
Yeah, everything's changed here.
Isn't it a trip? You can't find it.
Even in all the little black communities around.
I mean, I knew that the bridge had crashed, but I didn't know they got rid of 18th Street. Don't you remember? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and even downtown Oakland. I mean, that's
I
all
know.
you see now.
Yeah,
So
everything
things are
has
changing
changed.
rapidly, yeah.
Huh?
But
I'd hate to be blind and grow up in downtown Oakland because you'd get lost.
How do you see the world? You know, it's changing so rapidly, and things are happening with the internet, and it's just so fast. How do you feel about all this now?
Well, I think human beings will always be who they are and the way they are. And we know our economy is bad, and we'll really know how bad it is when they evict, when they throw Obama out of that White House. You know, when they foreclose on that White House. He has to live in a trailer out there. But it's when you're down, there's only one way up.
That's right. That's right.
That's what's
so
good about it.
beautiful.
There's only when you're to that curb, there's only one way, and that's up.
That's right.
So we'll get around to the way it was again. You know, America was a pretty nice place, and I mean, you know, it's like we just have a lot of work to do.
You know, I like what you said tonight, that I'm not leaving America because this is our country too. I really like that, because so many people try to say, why don't you leave and go to this country and that country? Because I've traveled to different foreign countries, and they say, why don't you live in Israel? Why don't you live in Spain? Why don't you live here? And this is our country. And I like the way you said that
because of
tonight.
our ancestors.
Yes.
How can we do that?
Yes.
We work for free.
That's right.
For 400, we have the mortgage on this. We have to be here for their sake.
I like your show because you do bring out the history and culture of our people, and I think that's so beautiful.
Well, that has to be brought out about us, and it has to be said.
Don't, though.
Well, that's because everyone's not the same, and everybody has their own agenda, and everybody has their own feelings about it, and they should do what they do and be who they are. I mean, it's like, you know, I don't want to be someone else. I'm happy for everybody else. I mean, if you got a brand new car, I don't want what you have. I want what I can get. Yes. Please.
So are you ever blackballed from different societies, you know, because they think you're so raw and you come out so direct, and do they blackball
A lot of
you at
times,
all?
yeah. A lot of times, in a lot of psychological ways, but it has nothing to do with me.
And it doesn't affect you?
No,
either.
well, I can't. What you think about me, I have nothing to do with it. I can't create this illusion, and, you know, everyone has their favorite everything. I mean, there's always going to be somebody that dislikes you.
Right.
It's just the way that is. You have to live with that, you know, but it's okay. You do what you do, and the best revenge is to look good.
That's right. Well, I just love you. I love the way you emphasize all your knowledge on stage. I think you're one of the greatest black men I've ever heard as a comedian and a teacher, because you were teaching as you were talking, even though it was very funny. I mean, I think you're just too funny. I laughed so hard tonight.
The bottom line is funny. I mean, I consider myself a doctor of comedy.
You
But
are.
comedy can cure all, you know, so we do it. And we have a third show to do.
And I hear him say the king of comedy. He is the king of comedy, ladies
Well,
and
I
gentlemen.
appreciate that. Thank you. But the king of comedy is dead. That's Richard Pryor. And good night.